Just gonna take a second. And we're live. Guys, what's going on? Soggy Boy, I'm coming at you. I got Drew with me. And this is the Bois Expansion Draft Special. Welcome.
We're doing
Welcome.
We're here.
We are gonna wait. We're gonna see if I can get my guest on. If not, we'll go forward. But yeah, I just want to start off by saying T-minus less than 20 hours maybe until we have a brand new team in the NHL. The Seattle Kraken. I mean, it is a very exciting time to be an NHL fan. I am super pumped to really get into this, break it down for you, and just explain to you why Carey Price is, in fact, going to the Seattle Kraken.
No. Wrong.
What's going on, Drew?
Oh, living the dream, buddy. Living the dream. Looking forward to getting into some Kraken.
Yeah, we're going to crack it wide open. Cracking it wide open.
Fun name. I love that.
I know.
Love that so much.
I like the jerseys, too. I mean...
Oh, dude. This is going to be a sweet team. I hope they do as well as the Golden Knights. I really do.
Well, not to plug my own... oh, we got a comment. Hold on. Not to plug my own... oh, we got to... Look at that. Let's go, Kraken. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, I wrote an article on this. Kind of a little inauguration, like welcome to the NHL post, but they're in a division that is just historically dog trash.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's wide open.
I mean, you're coming into that revamped, but newly reformed Pacific Division. Mm-hmm. You really only have two teams, maybe, that are gonna compete. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just. I'm gonna go for you right here. I mean, obviously the Golden Knights are gonna be that division's ultimate winner. I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume. But here, let's look at this here, because honestly, since they changed the divisions, I have completely forgotten what has been going on. But anyways, so the new Pacific Division, it's going to be the Ducks, the Flames, the Oilers, the Kings, the Sharks, the Kraken, the Canucks, and then the Golden Knights. So, yeah, not great. Not great. I mean, so obviously there are teams that stand out for you, the Golden Knights. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're an Edmonton fan, you are jumping for joy that you are in that division. I mean, seriously.
Is it going to matter, though? Is it going to matter?
Is it going to matter if they're in that division? Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's big that they're in the division.
They haven't had an issue making the playoffs the last couple of years, here and there. But it's when they get there that's the problem.
Right. But you have to think about it like this. The teams that are going to make the playoffs are going to be way easier for them to beat. Therefore, they'll make it farther. Hopefully. That's the hope for them. But they couldn't get past Winnipeg or win a single playoff game this year, so who really knows? But, I mean...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all right. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But, I mean, directly relating to this Kraken team coming in and their foundations are starting tomorrow with the drafting of the team. It's gonna be very exciting to watch them play in that division, because if they draft the right pieces, if they go by my draft board, they're gonna win a lot of games. They really are. Obviously this season, coming into the season, we're getting actual NHL games, and what I mean by that is, it's not they're playing their division 8 times a year. Bullshit. We have a very big statement. I'm gonna put up on the board for you. The Kraken will be the first expansion team to win in their inaugural season.
That's bold, but I mean, considering how close the Golden Knights came, it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility.
Right, it's not. He goes, the Stanley Cup, obviously. I appreciate the clarification, Zach. We appreciate that. So Yeah, obviously with the Golden Knights, what they did, what they were able to accomplish, no one had seen that for 20 odd years, and it was a lot different back then than it was today, in I guess today's era. So, we're gonna see what Seattle's gonna be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if you are watching, following along, any of that kind of stuff with this draft, you've seen the names that are popping up. You know there are big names out there that can be taken. And
there are some combination players that could be put together for this Kraken team that could legitimately make for a better team than the Golden Knights were when they were conceived of.
They could. That is a possibility.
I think it would be so much fun to see the Kraken and the Golden Knights battling out for this division. That would be a blast, dude. The two newest teams in the league. That's what we need to see. That would be fun.
And all right, well. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun time. Let's do it, Drew. Let's get right into the meat and bones.
It's time.
GM Zach, Soggy Boy, GM Drew. We're going to draft our teams for Seattle. And first up, guys. Oh, we got a comment. Sorry. Oh, don't forget, it's going to bring in a lot of money. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. It'll bring in a ton of money for the league. I mean, if you have that team in the finals, like I followed Vegas their first season.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a little special place in my heart because if any of you out there that are Bruins fans know Dave Gaucher, he was the voice of the Bruins on the sports, not the Sports Hub, but what was it? I think it was the Sports Hub. He was their play-by-play guy on the radio, and then obviously when the Golden Knights became a team, he signed a deal for them, and now he's their color analyst for their whatever radio station they are. I don't follow, but I miss that voice. But anyways, let's start, Drew. We're gonna start alphabetical. It's gonna go nice and easy. Get the Ducks. Oh, we're also still sharing the screen, so let's remove that, and now you have our faces. All right. Do you want to do this like a snake, or I go, you go, then you go, I go?
Sure.
All right. Well, I will take the first pick.
Kick it off.
I'll take the first pick. The first pick ever for the Seattle Kraken in their expansion draft is going to be Hayden Fleury, defenseman from the Anaheim Ducks. I think we differ on this automatically because I think you have them picking someone else, and I'm obviously not going to break that for you. But I like that selection. The fact that they left him open is a little puzzling to me because he's a little bit younger. He's a good defenseman to have on the back end somewhere in the second, third pairing that's gonna move the puck for you. Honestly, if it was, it wouldn't be an expansion team without a Fleury. Just putting that out there.
Has every expansion team taken a Fleury, Zach? All of
Sorry,
them?
It wouldn't be a modern expansion team without a Fleury.
Right, there we go.
Bitch.
All right, so I disagree. I think that from the Anaheim Ducks, Seattle Kraken are going to begin their roster with a man named Kevin Shattenkirk.
Kevin Shattenkirk.
Yes,
so good.
Kevin Shattenkirk. I'll take that right-handed defensive shot. Quarterback a power play. It's a very, very nice piece to be able to build a new defense around, and gives one of the few pieces that I've chosen as veteran presence on that team. I went pretty young overall, I want to say.
I think while you're doing this, Drew, take an average of age, and then we'll compare at the end.
Okay.
All right. Now it's your turn. You get to pick for the Coyotes.
The Arizona Coyotes. From the Coyotes, I believe our Kraken will be taking Christian Fischer. Getting a little young forward action. It was a no-brainer for me at the price and the age point, and it being the Coyotes, and just a general lack of available talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were some other options, but I think Christian Fischer is the way to go here for them.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna shit on your pick, but fuck that pick.
It'd be really funny if you also picked Christian Fischer.
Imagine. I actually don't remember this pick right off the top of
Please
my
be
head.
Christian Fisher.
Nope, I remember. So let me just go to my notes here. But initially, I had them picking up Phil Kessel via trade. Um,
I can
I
see that
thought,
happening.
I thought, I
They
thought
can't take on that
initially.
full salary.
No, there's no way that they could. And I thought that might be a good way of maybe rejuvenating what's left of his career. I mean, he had a good career with Pittsburgh, a good career with Toronto, good career with Boston. It just hasn't been fulfilling his end of the bargain in Arizona. But I mean, obviously he's up there. He's old. So I have them taking Tyler Pitlick.
Okay.
Younger forward. I think it's
Yep.
going to be good for them. They need a good mix of veteran and youth in that lineup. I think
agree.
Pitlick's a good choice for them.
I think he's a great depth piece for sure. I think that's one of the other few options that was legitimate from Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're on. Hometown.
That lined up nicely.
Yeah, it did. I know. Well, I mean, this pick is tough because I had to fight, between who I wanted to see go and who I really thought was going to go, and I think I can kind of bring together both sides of that and say I think and I want them to take Jeremy Lauzon. I think there's going to be enough quality play there for them to warrant picking him. Mm-hmm. And I also think that the Bruins have enough coming up through the defensive side of their game in their farm system that they can lose a piece like Lauzon. They can possibly lose a piece like Connor Clifton. They could maybe even say, okay, if you take, we want you. If you want Grzelcyk, we want picks. I'd be fine with that too. But anything further, obviously, like, God forbid they sign Brandon Carlo to that six-year deal and then they trade him away, which obviously is not going to happen. But, I think Lauzon is going to be their guy here. Although I could see them going forward here and going with a guy like Curtis Lazar. I think he showed enough on the Bruins this year to warrant Seattle to take a flyer out on him. But I really think they go defense here for the Bruins. I think they go Lauzon.
And this is our first pick that we are in agreement. I concur with that. I think the Bruins offered a wealth of young potential and talent up for this expansion draft. They left a couple good young defenders unprotected, and Lauzon is, in my mind, arguably at the top of that list of that group of defenders that include Connor Clifton and guys like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is really a no-brainer pick for them. Like you said, they might go forward with Lazar, but I think they're going Lauzon.
Yeah, and I think the no-brainer part really is defense from this team, because there are a couple pieces where you could say, this player's really worked out with the Bruins, whether it be Clifton, Lauzon, God forbid Grzelcyk. I don't think they're not gonna be able to swing Grzelcyk, but I think that trying to reach for a forward from a team that has defensive depth is just
that's what I'm saying. It would be kind of silly to say, this team is made available, 2 or 3 really good young defenders, and say, well, let's go take a flyer on this guy that's shown some flashes of being good in Lazar,
right.
But
right.
The potential that those defenders have would be silly to spit on.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, well, let's move forward. Let's go right to Buffalo.
To the Sabres. Who did I take from the Sabres?
I think we took the same person.
All right. Yes,
here we go. This is a similar pick.
All right, so we're going a little bit of value here. There were some options. Could have spent a little bit more with the Sabres, but I think that they're going to be comfortable taking William Borgen. I think that that's going to be a good choice for them. I should get him on a cheap contract, and that's really it. It's a value pick. They have money to spend elsewhere. I think he'll lock down the blue line pretty well in a third pairing or so.
I am going to agree. Obviously, I've already said that we have a similar pick. I also have William Borgen going to the Seattle Kraken as part of that expansion draft. However, I would like to mention Dustin Tokarski was left unprotected. He was pretty good this year for the Sabres. I mean, obviously the Sabres were a dog shit team, and leaving any goaltender in there, they're gonna get cooked. Doesn't matter. However, there's very good promise with him. So if they are trying to figure out which way they want to go goaltending wise, I could definitely see them taking a flyer out on Tokarski.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, according to what I have, I think they will go Borgen and spend their goaltending picks elsewhere.
Yes, so. Yeah, and Colin Miller, also a reasonable choice.
Not necessarily. For me, watching his regression from the Bruins down to Vegas and then getting shipped out to Buffalo, and he, for all intents and purposes, I mean, he's probably their second best defenseman on the team. And it's not enough, I mean, maybe you pick him up, he gets that third pairing, like 7th D role like he had with the Bruins, and he thrives again. I liked him. If he came back to the Bruins, I'd be fine, but in a smaller role rather than taking on like the first pairing, you know what I mean? Like, that obviously not going to happen, but
right.
But just with the experience with him, he was good when he was in Boston. Then he went to Vegas, and he kind of fell off a little bit. I think he can catch on with another team, and I'm sure he'll be fine, but that's just... If you end up in Buffalo, it's usually not good. I didn't say
great pick, I said reasonable.
Oh, no, I know. But I'm just explaining to all of our 0 viewers out there that, it's been tested with Colin Miller. There's a little bit of that, I wouldn't say buyer's remorse, but I guess actually, yeah, I guess maybe a little bit of buyer's remorse from Vegas taking Colin Miller and not having that pan out. I mean, so like for me, it's okay. I'm fine with them doing that again this time around with Seattle taking another Colin Miller-esque, not player type, but player in the same situation as Colin Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Like a promising like third pair defenseman that has the potential to grow, but then kind of sputters out. Like, from a Boston standpoint, that was great for me, because like we just kind of didn't really have to worry, because like they took that, and then our defense was fine. So
right.
Anyways, let's move on. Calgary. We are at the Flames. This is my first big pick for the Seattle Kraken. I've seen a lot of speculation of where this is gonna go with the Flames. A lot of people have this. I have this. Calgary, say goodbye to your captain. Mark Giordano is going to become a Seattle Kraken.
He's going to become a Seattle Kraken.
He is a Kraken.
He is a Seattle.
That's kind of weird. That's weird, isn't it? That is a little weird. A Kraken, yeah. And Kraken? Kraken?
No, definitely not.
Right. Yeah, I see.
Kraken.
I see the value in taking on a contract like Mark Giordano, because you had some of those picks, obviously not on the defensive side, but you had picks like that in James Neal, you're never gonna get another James Neal like that again. I mean, James Neal was lights out for Vegas in the first 2 seasons, but it's all about that veteran leadership, and if you can get it on the back end, then it's definitely worth taking out the flyer. And there's no need for them to take players that are on the cusp. Mark Giordano has won Norris trophies. He deserves to be picked by this team. He deserves to be the backstop for Seattle.
Look, I agree. I think Mark Giordano is a phenomenal player. He always has been, and the veteran leadership is hard to argue with. And this comes down to the fact that our drafts are different. We sought veteran leadership in different places. We, looked to add youth elsewhere. We looked to, make our value picks. And with the Ducks, I got Kevin Shattenkirk for my version of this team. And that's why I think we're going to go value again here with the Flames on... Crap.
I know who it was. Oliver Kylington.
Yes, Oliver Kylington.
I did a piece on him like a couple months ago.
He's a great player. When he's on the ice, he kind of elevates the players around him. The team plays really well when he's out there. He hasn't really had the biggest sample size, but I think that you're, again, getting a value pick here and a player that has pretty much limitless potential in a brand new environment with brand new players. If it gels, it gels.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I could see them. I think both of us have a defenseman going from Calgary. I mean, I could see if they get, if they do go with a guy like Shattenkirk, I could see them going Kylington instead of getting, two older guys. Having that, I think what we're looking at is you have them going leadership with Shattenkirk. I have them going Giordano.
Exactly.
I mean, it's completely possible either or will happen. That's why this is a mock draft. It's beautiful. Oh, hold on. Let me just pop this up. I don't know if this is coming from Sean or Connor. I'm just going to guess it's Connor, Islanders fan. We're going to get to the Islanders in a little bit, but I will give you a sneak peek. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. It's one of your top 6 forwards. I'm sorry. It's happening. Oh, it's Sean. Sorry, Sean. It's
Fair.
Sean, I meant you no offense. But yeah, it's going to be one of their top 6 forwards, and you're not going to like it. Especially if you're Connor.
So says both of us.
Connor, you chode. Alright, let's move forward here. We're done with the Flames. We're moving on. Go to the Hurricanes. Drew, you're up.
Carolina. I think this was another relatively easy choice. Again, going with some youth, some potential, and Jake Bean. We've been defense heavy at the top of this draft for sure. But yeah, we're building a solid core, building some nice mix of youth and veteran leadership here on the back end. Guys that can move the puck. And Jake Bean is one of those guys, in my opinion. I think he's going to be a nice piece for this team.
All right. Let me see who I took. Oh shit! Guess what? It's also Jake Bean. I agree with you, Drew. I think we're looking at this team. We're not going to go with any of the forwards. We're going to go defense here. Patiently waiting. Good, John. We're on the Hurricanes. We will be on the Islanders in probably 7 or 8 minutes, I'd guess.
Probably more than that.
Better wait. Wait around, baby. Wait around. Yeah, so I'm going to go Jake Bean as well. Again, another, depth pairing defenseman. I think if you're going to get them, for me here, he's going to be someone that's going to be able to go back and forth between the minors and the majors. He'll come up, he'll do a stint, come back down. He'll be a good defensive pairing in the AHL. NHL, I mean, he's only 23, so he's got plenty of room to grow. So I think this for them is definitely a project pick. And I think a lot of these picks are going to be project picks, with some of them being 23, 24, 25. I mean, not every player is going to blossom right away. I think that they have a partnership with the Panthers farm system for right now until obviously they get their own farm system. So I mean, we'll see what comes of that. I don't know. I don't understand the whole partnership thing for that.
Regardless,
but we'll have to get into that when it comes. Is the draft now? No, the draft is tomorrow night. This is just the mock draft. I'm actually going live tomorrow night when the draft comes on. So stay tuned for that tomorrow night. I think it's 8 o'clock. But also don't forget the actual NHL draft is Friday too. So that is another thing that we're waiting on. So this is just the week of NHL drafts. There's 2. So, all right. Well, Jake Bean, you're going to Seattle, buddy. Enjoy. Woo! We're on to Chicago. All right. I don't remember who you picked, so I'm just going to go with mine. Tell you what. Let's see. Who did I pick? All right. So I have more of a depth piece here. I have Ryan Carpenter going. He can play center, right wing. He is 30, but he only has a cap hit of about $1 million, so that's not going to be too bad for them to swallow. You get a guy like that. Again, it's a little bit of veteran leadership. He's on a team that has multiple Stanley Cup winners, so you're hoping some of that rubs off on a player like Ryan Carpenter. But again, a guy like that, he's been around, but he is only 30, so he has that experience with only being 30. So it's going to be good for them to get that, and he's a guy who could transition back and forth, and he can play NHL minutes, he can have sustained play in the AHL, so I think they're getting the best of both worlds there. A nice pick for them, Ryan Carpenter.
Nice. I'm going to go with my really second piece of veteran leadership to get on the back end, again going defense here. Calvin DeHaan. Going to take him and just plug him right in, second pairing probably, I would imagine, and just really anchor that back end. DeHaan is another one of those players where the team just plays better when he's on the ice. He moves the puck really well, generates a lot of chances for the offense from the blue line. I think you're getting a lot of value from DeHaan at a good price point. Little expensive, but you got to splurge, man.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, you have to splurge, and I think that we're looking at a team like Vegas coming in. They're doing their draft. They get a lot of that depth in the offensive side with their forwards. I mean, you can go up and down the list. Riley Smith, William Karlsson, James Neal. I mean, those are big-time names now. But, if you're 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you're looking at a guy like Riley Smith like, oh, whatever. Like, I mean, decent player.
Yeah.
Was on the Bruins. I really liked him for the Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
I was sad to see him go, but, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, like, you look at players like that, and, I mean, when they're given the chance, they can step up. And Calvin DeHaan has done it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do it again, so I absolutely agree with your pick. I think that is a good pick for them, too. I just think that for, on my side of the draft going on, they can find a little bit better depth and defense elsewhere and take more of just a whatever pick here. But
yeah.
Sorry, there's yelling going on in the background, so I'm kind of like I'm like trying to figure out what's going on, but like also ignoring it at the same time, kind of thing. All right, well, let's move on. Chicago, we got split pick here, but we'll move right on. We're going to Colorado.
This was a tough one. This is one that I went back and forth on. There are so many options, so many ways to do this pick. I ended up landing on JT Compher. I think he really gives you the best mix of value and being an affordable player. I was going to go with Gabriel Landeskog, but the question mark of negotiating his deal was a little too much for me to take on.
Drew, you're not a GM.
Yeah, well, for this case, we are. We are the GM.
I know.
So for me, it came down to the end between Jonas Donskoy and JT Compher, and really just Compher can play center, and I needed a center, so here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand. Like you said, it's down to Donskoy and Compher, and I went the opposite end of that. I went Jonas Donskoy. I've seen him play. I love what he has to offer.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
He's a great two-way forward. He has that scoring touch. I mean, that is going to be one of those players that elevates his game, almost like Tomas Hertl did with the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
He came in
also like
into that system
with the San Jose Sharks.
He did. He was with the Sharks. And then I think he must have just been traded to the Avalanche. I don't remember when. But
2 years ago.
Was it 2?
I think so.
Well, I mean, sorry, there's just like really loud yelling. Yeah, I mean, I like Donskoy. I think it would be good for him to get a reset. And honestly, like, it's really hard to be Colorado right now when you have guys like Donskoy, like Comfort. I mean, Gabriel Landeskog. I mean, come on, seriously. I mean, you can expose him. Obviously, free agent. I mean, the odds of him signing in Seattle. So you don't want to risk a pick like that. But I mean, you have serious bargaining with Donskoy. You have serious bargaining with Compher. I mean, those are two good players on a stacked Avalanche team. So it's tough, Teams like the Avalanche, teams like the Lightning. Like, you have a stacked roster. You're gonna lose a good player, and it's inevitable, and I think Donskoy is that player for me. He offers too much for Seattle not to take that pick.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Going to Columbus. So honestly, funny enough, completely forgot that he was A, on Columbus, and B, he was even a thing anymore, honestly, because he's been injured. But when this kid is on, he is on. And that is Max Domi. I think it would behoove them, if I'm using that the right way,
Sure.
to not take Domi. I think this is one of the no. Did I use that right?
No.
Sorry.
If you said it would behoove them to take Domi.
Okay.
Behoove
So then, yeah.
It would benefit them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would behoove them to take Max Domi. Sorry, I'm not very good with grammar sometimes. That's why he's the editor and I'm not. Yeah, I think Domi is going to offer you massive upside. Yes, he's injured. Yes, there are some things going on behind the scenes. You can't not take a player like Max Domi if he's available. The Blue Jackets just, I think, are done dealing with him, done dealing with the injuries, whatever. You take a guy like Domi, you let him rehab. I mean, this is a team that expects to win games, but there are no real expectations set for Seattle because they are a brand new team. Their players coming in fresh. Every single player is from a different team. So I think if you get a guy like Domi, expectations can be reset, remolded. He can be put into a situation where he's going to succeed, and I think that starts with Seattle.
I couldn't agree more. I think that they can't pass him up. That there's no way that they don't take Max Domi from Columbus. That's
I mean, yeah. Like, as Drew so plainly put, there is no way that they don't take Max Domi. Tomorrow night, they don't take Max Domi and me and Drew are hawking our laptops.
literally that would just be nuts.
Again, it's one of the picks on here that we look at and we go, this player offers potential, very good potential upside. He's only 26. He's under contract for another year, and then they can rework it. We'll see what he's got. If he's injured, then they can leave him on, the injury list and still have that there as an asset that they could trade or whatever. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're getting it for free. So I mean, whatever picks they get out of them too, if they decide to sell, I mean, there's no downside.
No.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Exactly.
But move on to the Stars. All right. Is this my pick or your pick?
This is my pick.
Your pick.
From the Dallas Stars, we're going super young here.
Yeah.
Talking minor league with Adam Messerschmidt.
Okay. All right, you want to explain that one?
Yeah, I again, we're talking about, building for the future on top of trying to win now. I think you get some really good young potential talent that you can just let marinate down in the minors.
Let that one marinate.
Let that one marinate, bud. And I think that this kid is electric. He's got some serious upside. I think if he takes the time to, again, marinate and cook down in the minors and then come up and this team, what?
I forgot to play the clip. Dingus.
You goof.
Son of a bitch. Well, that's okay. I'll play the clip later, I guess.
We'll edit it in.
Or not. I'll just edit it in. That's fine. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think this is he's not going to be a contributor right away, of course. He's going to be a piece that you wait for down the line. And, if it doesn't work out, he's super young, tons of potential. Again, another piece that you can, I'm sure, sell off pretty quickly and readily. If
yeah. I mean, Vegas did that with some of their pieces. They got some young talent, traded them for picks, and then turned those picks into players like Mark Stone, like
Max Pacioretty.
Max Pacioretty, exactly. Thank you. Alec Martinez, Alex Pietrangelo. I mean, like, big name players that have made their way to Vegas for the deals, the players that they acquired in the expansion draft. I mean, man, the fact that team hasn't won a cup yet is ridiculous, but that's a whole different story. I have my first and only player over 30 being selected for my only player over 30 in the forwards group. I'll say that. And that is Blake Comeau. I think you can get a guy on a deal like Blake Comeau, a very team-friendly deal. I mean, he's 35. It's on $1 million. It's good to me. 1 year. He's a restricted. He's a free agent. Let him do whatever he wants. I think you pick a guy like that. You get the foundations of what you want your team to be, and I think Blake Comeau can do that for you. I think he can come in. I think he can offer you that structure, offer you discipline, and just he has a really good grit to his game that is good to have, especially when the rest of the players that I'm picking are under 30. So let's move right on. Let's go to Detroit. Detroit. All right, I'm going back. I'm going defensive. I'm going right to defense here. My pick here is going to be Troy Stecher, 27-year-old, right shot. I've seen a couple of games when the Bruins played the Red Wings. No, sorry, not last year. Shit. Must have been 2 years ago. I like what he has. He has very good puck movement ability. I think that it's going to be very... It's going to be good for them to have a good mixture of right and left shot defensemen. Another right shot defenseman that is going to help them. He is only 27. He is a free agent after the 2022-2023 season. So you get, that year out of him. Then he's a free agent after. So we'll see, what becomes of Troy. But I think that there's not many players you can really pick in Detroit, so I think picking a player like that, getting a right shot defenseman, player that can move the puck behind the blue line for, under $2 million a year, I think that's your pick.
Fair. I can't disagree. I think Stetcher's a great pick. If I was in need of defense, I would have gone with him as well. But I do like one of their forwards that is available, and a guy that's played for the Lightning, a team that I've been a fan of for a while, and Vladislav Nemesnikov, I think, is going to be a nice little addition to that forward group. He's, I think, probably among the oldest forwards that I chose, if not the oldest. Nope, he's among the oldest. He's 28 years old, got a year on his contract, unrestricted free agent afterwards. But he's just one of those depth pieces that I can see really making an impact on a new team and a new environment. And he played for the Lightning, and I love Vladislav.
Yeah. I'm just laughing because I have two more players over 30 in my forward group, and I just completely missed it, but that's fine. Whatever.
Look at Zach. Come on.
I mean, when you hear their names, you're going to understand why, because I'm still stuck in, 2015. But, all right, well, let's move on. Edmonton. We're on to Edmonton now. I mean, not much here that you can do.
No, Edmonton did not provide many options. So I went with the physical option. I think that this team needs an energy line, a physical line, just a line to come out and start, banging people around. So I'm going with Jujhar Khaira.
Kyra. Its last name is Kyra. I mean, tough name to pronounce, but
it is.
Watching a couple of those Calgary Edmonton games, he's a name that's come up. I agree. I'm gonna pick Kyra as well as their pick. Definitely energy line. Definitely gets the crowd going. I mean, I couldn't see anything else other than Kyra there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on there.
Sorry, Edmonton.
Sorry. It's not much to offer. That's honestly not a bad thing, though.
No, it's true.
All right, we're going on to Florida. We don't even need to talk about this one because they already signed him. They have a deal in. They have a deal in place. It's Chris Dredger. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I know exactly who he is. Played very well for Florida. Made a very good combo with Sergei Bobrovsky, and for them to be able to take him or to sign him really. But obviously signing him is their pick. is going to be very good for them. I think he's a good young goaltender. He's got a lot to offer. He's got a tremendous upside. He had a .922 save percentage this season. And, they played teams like Tampa. They played teams like Carolina, Chicago, who have high offensive upside. So I think that is going to be a good pick for them. I think they are going Dreiger. So that's that.
Yep.
All right,
Sorry,
Kings.
Florida.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like that one. I feel like that one had the writing was on the wall for him. But
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. It was just two that we went through very quickly. So.
yeah, no. Yeah. Well, I mean, some of these picks, a lot younger. It's just kind of what scouts, or not scouts, but like a lot of people have them going with. A lot of these big name players. There's a lot of speculation. But like with Edmonton or this next pick I have, I mean, it's more to meet the cap, more value. I have them going defensively here for the Kings. Cale Clegg. I don't know much about his game, honestly. I've just seen that is a player that they've had tabbed. Let me just look at him for a second. He is a minor league player. The only minor league player technically that they will pick under my roster. He is 23. He is also a left shot defenseman, so something in the works for them to work on a left shot defenseman to bring up.
Absolutely. I'm going to go a little different. I'm going offense since I went defense for pretty much every other pick. We're going to go with Andres Athanasiou.
I also like the pick too.
Speed guy, another guy that just brings a good energy to a team. Has played some decent hockey in his NHL career, even with some bad Detroit teams. He was kind of one of the bright spots on a lot of those teams, and ended up getting traded to Edmonton. Didn't play much for Edmonton, and on the Kings last year, he put up a decent season, 23 points in 47 games. I think another change of scenery and a new group of guys that's would be really nice for him, and just has a lot to offer. So I think that this was a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. I could see them taking Athanasiou. I mean, I like him. He's a good young player. And he was, he was tough in Edmonton. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Not a whole lot of room to wiggle in Edmonton. So.
No. Let's move on. Minnesota Wild. I think it's your pick.
Yeah, sure.
I think we agree, though, but...
Going with Carson Soucy.
Oh, you're doing different. I forgot.
Oh, we are different. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you're probably going goalie here, I'm betting.
I am. I have to. I mean...
Yeah, fair. But I like... I like Carson Soucy.
That's fine.
That is my pick. That's all.
As a GM, you can like the name and just pick him. It's fine. That's what we're doing here. We're armchair GMs.
That is my argument.
All right. I am going to go goalie here. I am going Capo Kaikkonen. Again, on the same line as Chris Dreiger. Great young talent. He's going to be a good goaltender, guys. He's going to be a good goalie. I'm very excited to see what he's going to be able to do. He was a little outplayed this season. Minnesota had a great run. A little unexpected almost because their veteran core is obviously older. They just bought out Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, so I mean they're moving towards the youth. They got the youth that they need, kind of in a good spot. So, however, it sucks that they left this guy unprotected because he does have very good upside. I think they take him. I think that in order for them to be a good team, for Seattle to be a good team, they need good goaltending. And for these two picks to happen for them, they're going to get that good goaltending. They're going to get that good foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's time. Oh, I would love to see this. I know this one I know is not going to happen, but my gut, for some reason, is telling me that it's going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
My heart wants it to happen because fuck you, Montreal. Carey fucking Price. Ship your ass to Seattle, bitch.
No.
Ship it.
No.
On the real, if they were able to swing some of the money from his contract anyway, and with the roster I have, they don't have to move any money around, and they can still pick him, okay? He is 33. He still has years to go. He still has air in those tires. He just brought Montreal to a Stanley Cup Finals appearance. I mean, the only real team they beat was Vegas, which, funny enough, expansion team. I can see it happening. You can hear it. You can smell it in the air. The blood is fresh, guys. I want him to go to Seattle so I can actually root for him. Because I hate rooting for the Canadiens.
Not gonna happen.
All right, who's your pick?
My pick's gonna sound also like almost equally ridiculous in Jonathan Drouin. Drouin is just one of those players that's battled injuries and personal issues and has never really gotten a chance to shine, other than that time in Tampa. And if he can recapture that magic, he would be an unbelievable player to start your team with.
I would agree if I didn't think that he's had a lot of issues in both teams that he's been on.
That it's going to be easy or a guaranteed thing, but if they take the flyer, I think, man, it could be phenomenal or it could be a bust. Unfortunately, it's one of those picks that you're not going to be able to unload super easily, like a lot of the other flyers that I've suggested taking. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would like to see them shoot their shot here.
Shoot their shot. It's so funny. Yeah, I just think it's too much of a high-risk pick for me.
That's fair.
I mean, obviously, Carey Price, whatever. But I think that the reward greatly outnumbers the risk with Carey Price. You know what you're getting. Yes, he might have some injury problems, and that's fine. He's had injuries in the past. He's bounced back. I mean, he's a multiple Vezina winner. But I think that with the goaltenders that I'm taking, that kind of offsets it. But I understand what the talent level of Jonathan Drouin. The question is whether he actually brings it if he goes to Seattle.
Yeah. And same thing with Drouin, I think.
Yeah. Let's go right on to Nashville. Drew, it's up to you. It's your pick.
From the Nashville Predators, I think they're going to go Yakov Trenin. Another one of those guys that's kind of just for the physicality, for the energy, for the sake of existence.
Get them out the way. Ew, God, no.
It's almost time. Ew. Connor.
No, it's actually Sean. No, they're not taking Matt Duchene. I will talk about the Isles when I'm ready to talk about the Isles, bitch. All right? Get over it.
I called him Connor on purpose, by the way.
Oh, did you really? All right, Connor. The Islanders are coming up in 2 picks, all right? Give me a second. I want to talk about Cal Yarncroc. He's my pick. Seattle, again, this for me is another no-brainer. Cal Yarncroc is a very good player. He has that skill. He has that finishing touch. He is going to be phenomenal on a team like Seattle. Again, new beginnings for any of these players that are coming in. And I think for Cal, it's just, it would be an immense... It's okay. It's okay. We forgive you. It's going to be immense for him to get that chance to rebuild his foundations and do it with Seattle.
Yeah, a player that's been a little inconsistent over his career, but has had flashes of absolute brilliance. Mm-hmm. So like you said, a fresh start could unlock some consistency.
I could see it like a Riley Smith situation for Cal Yarncroc. I've seen it with Riley Smith, and look what he did. When he was drafted by Vegas, I think Cal Yarncroc could have that similar experience where he gets those top 6 minutes and he explodes onto the scene. I mean, he was kind of doing it this season, and I really think for them not to take Cal Yarncroc, especially at that price, like you got to do it. You got to do it. Well, let's move on. New Jersey. This is probably my most expensive pick, besides Carey Price. Yes, it is my second most expensive pick. Nice guy. Let me start off by saying nice guy. I hate him on the ice, but he's a nice guy. I think a change of scenery is in store for Mr. PK Subban.
Again.
He's not doing anything on this Devils team. He hasn't been good since the 2016-2017 season when he helped the Predators make the Stanley Cup Finals, inevitably losing to the Penguins. Again, It's another one of those players, superstar potential, has shown superstar ability,
Oh yeah.
but hasn't lived up to it since being traded by the Canadiens. So I think a fresh start is in order for him.
Sure. Absolutely. That's a little rich for my blood. I'm going back to where I live in defense worlds. And I'm going to give him another left-handed shot in Will Butcher, a guy that's, again, been just kind of stuck on that team. Lots of potential, great puck movement skills, has some experience.
Hobie Baker winner, by the way. Best college player in 2018, maybe?
Yeah.
I forget what year it was, but I remember.
But yeah, no, I think Will Butcher adds just yet another solid piece of depth to that defense at a lower price point than PK Subban, albeit at a much lower in skill set. But
no, of course. I think the price point for me, I think the Devils will eat some of that money off of Subban's salary. I think that's why they take him inevitably. There's probably something to sweeten the deal to take a guy like Subban and leave Will Butcher, because I think at the end of the day, Butcher still has room to grow, and I think
I agree.
Instead of saying, okay, we're going to expose Will Butcher and then just go ahead, I think there's going to be something in the workings behind the scenes to take a guy like PK Subban and leave Butcher on the team, and they'll sweeten the deal. Because if it were for me,
the Kraken say, screw you, New Jersey, and take Will Butcher anyways, because kid's got plenty of potential, and I like Will Butcher a lot.
Yeah, no, I do too. I agree. All right, well, the pick you've all been waiting for. Actually, sorry, only one of you have been waiting for.
All one of you have been waiting for.
All one.
It's
Sean, it's Islanders time. Yes, you are losing a top 6 forward. I'm sorry, it's happening. Good luck. I hope Connor cries his eyes out. But, Drew, you go ahead. It's your pick, and then I will go with my pick. We have 2 different top 6 forwards going, so could be either one of them.
Yeah, and I'm saying it's going to be Josh Bailey.
Josh Bailey says bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I think you can sit there and you can have an argument with Josh Bailey. 2. What do you mean 2?
Yes, they're losing both. No. We just have different opinions, Sean.
Oh, hold on. What is he saying? Fans love it and fans hate it. Yeah, no kidding. I'm going to argue my point here. I think it's Jordan Eberle. I think you have that leadership caliber in Jordan Eberle. He's going to be a guy like James Neal coming in for a team like Seattle, and he's going to be that glue. I think you could get either, really. They're like $100,000 contracts separating each other. They're 1 year apart. I think you go with Eberle here. You get that player, you get that leadership ability, you get that star potential that he showed that he has on the Islanders, that he showed that he had on Edmonton, and I think it translates. I think he goes to Seattle, and I think they lock him down. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Bailey, again, I went with trying to build the most chemistry that you can on a team that, again, is players from literally all over the league. Fuck you, Zach. No, I think that Josh Bailey has a little bit more of that potential to elevate people around him. I love his game. But no, again, you can't go wrong with either one of these guys.
No, I don't think you can either.
Ends up in Seattle, they're getting an absolute steal.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if you're an Islanders fan, it's definitely a tough pill to swallow losing either of those players. I just think it would be a tougher pill to swallow if you lose Jordan Eberle rather than Josh Bailey. But again, we're not Ron Francis, so we don't know what he's really gonna do.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yep. All right, Rangers. Let's do it. The other New York team, I have them picking Colin Blackwell. Heard his name thrown around a lot. I've seen a couple of games. Obviously, the Bruins having played the Rangers this year. He's got a good energy to him. He's a center, but you lose the Bailey song. That's fair. Okay, so I'll put this up here because I want to talk about it now. The Josh Bailey song, never heard it, but the fact that you guys would lose a song just makes me more motivated to want to pick Josh Bailey and to make sure that he never shows his face back in the Islanders organization, so that way you guys can stop singing a fucking ridiculous song. So eat it.
You need the Josh Bailey song.
Yes, the Josh Bailey song. That's what I said.
I said you need the Josh Bailey song.
Oh, you need it. I'm sorry. Do we? I don't know.
Yes,
But
of course
I'm
we
gonna.
do.
Damn, that's cold. Yeah, I'm very cold right now. It's like 65 degrees down here.
Shut the fuck up.
Picking Colin Blackwell from the Rangers. I think he again brings a good energy to the team. He is a centerman. I need centers on my team, so there you go.
Don't we all?
All of us.
I agree. I concur with this pick. Colin Blackwell, I think, is going to make for a very good depth piece, and then potential to move up that forward depth chart somewhere down the line. He's played some really good hockey throughout his minors career and into the NHL now so far. So I like it.
Yeah. All right. Ottawa.
I like it. Ottawa. All right. The Ottawa Senators, another team that's a little sparse in choices. So this is where I am actually getting my oldest forward, my oldest player, I believe, tied with Kevin Shattenkirk. We're going to go with Evgeny Dadonov. Secure that wing. He did wonders for the power play down in Florida when he was there. I think that's an important piece to have. If you can match up him and Shattenkirk on your first power play line, you're creating some problems for penalty kill units. And again, just a player that nets a lot of pucks, a little bit more than the player that I was arguing myself with, and Chris Tierney. A little bit more expensive option. You're going to get a little bit more production, I think, and then that power play ability really put it over the top for me, especially being able to pair him with Shattenkirk. So that's why I'm going Dadonov. Zach, I know you have a differing opinion.
I do, and you actually already mentioned him. I am going with Chris Tierney. I think that he is a wonderful centerman. He is a good piece to have because he's very defensively minded. So you're going to get that two-way capability, and you need two-way forwards on that team. You need players that are going to be able to pick up the slack defensively. I think I built a good defensive core, but I think it's going to be even better with the fact that I have a guy like Chris Tierney to pair up, to play penalty minutes, to eat those shots, and to play really good, sound defensive hockey, and also having a little bit of that offensive upside to go with it. So,
those were the two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's go right
to
the Flyers.
What do you do?
This is it. This is my big pick. This is my big boy pick right here. Okay.
Let's hear it. Say his name.
Philadelphia, you have loved this man for a long time. I know. But it is time to move on from James Van Riemsdyk because he is going to Seattle. End of story. That's it. I think that is a meatball. That is the sexiest pick on this board. James Van Riemsdyk is a game-changing piece. He is going to be a leader in that room. He has superstar potential. Sorry, superstar capability. I mean, we've already seen it. And, to get a guy like that on a team with good defensive pairings, with good goaltending, like that is the only way that he is going to take his game to the next level. And that is why I think that this team will make it far in the playoffs this year. Is because of James Van Riemsdyk, because of guys like him and Jordan Eberle.
Neither of which I have on my team. That's why your team sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're going to go a little different here. I think that they are going to end up with... what team are we talking about?
I know who. You went defense again.
I did, yes. Yeah. Shane Gostisbehere. Guy that I've enjoyed very much since he came into the league. Another one of those kind of two-way defenders. A little more offensive-minded, but that's cool in my book. I need a little bit of that on my back end. But no, he's been electric in my mind since he came in. Had a couple down years with Philly after his strong start, but I think, again, a change of scenery would be really, really good, and pairing with some of these other guys would be a dream, to be honest with you.
I mean, there are some really good picks from Philadelphia.
Yes, yeah. There are a couple different ways.
You can't go wrong with a guy like Shane Gostisbehere, so I can understand that. I just think that there is more value from James Van Riemsdyk, and
fair.
I mean that's just where we differ. Yeah, that's where we differ. Pittsburgh.
To the Penguins. And this is another team that I kind of argue with myself a little bit back and forth on between my guy and Aston Reese. But I think that Brandon Tanev brings some serious grit, some serious experience. He's been a phenomenal player throughout his career with Vancouver and Pittsburgh. And I think that he's going to be one of those solid guys that anchors the forward groups and just provides a whole lot of leadership and some good offensive capability.
All right. I went back and forth with this one too, but I came up with Zach Aston Reese. I've seen him play a couple of games. He has that grit. He has that potential. I just think you're getting him on a better deal than you would with Brandon Tanev, and he's a little bit younger. For my team, I wanted to have a good mixture of youth, and I think getting a player like that has the potential to surpass Brandon Tanev and is a little bit younger and has a better deal on his contract would be my go-to. So I picked Zach Aston Reese. All right, let's move on. San Jose. I think we both have this player. Let me just make sure I spelled his name right because I think I said it wrong earlier. All right. Yes, I did spell it wrong. So for my San Jose pick, I have them picking Dylan Gambrell, center. Another center. Another. Oh, we don't.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Another centerman. I think this team needs depth of centermen and players that can play multiple positions, which I definitely have up and down the roster. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, only 6 players out of my however many forwards. I think I have like 16 or whatever. Yeah. So 6 out of 16 play one position. The rest play 2 or 3. So I'm getting a guy that is a true centerman. I'm getting him on the back end. He's going to be good as a fourth line center coming in up and down the lineup. And I think that he will, again, be one of those pieces that goes down to the minors, plays in the AHL, comes up, will have conditioning since all that kind of stuff. So,
sure.
Who do you got?
I'm going with Ryan Donato.
Another player I potentially had them picking.
Yeah, his time in Boston, where I watched him play the most, of course. But no, I liked what he brought to the table. He was a fun kid to watch. Again, just going for that energy, that depth in the forward area, and I like him. I like his game. And he's gonna be a Kraken.
All right, let's move on. I did like Ryan Donato. I was sad that they traded him away, but at least they got the value out of him, and then he didn't do anything with the Sharks. But we're on to the Blues, Drew. Another team that you followed.
Yep. Yes, sir. I think this is also a fairly easy pick. When you leave a guy on the table like Vince Dunn, he's going to get snapped up. There's no 100%. Way. He's really the only guy that makes sense unless you want to take a flyer on Vladimir Tarasenko or Jaden Schwartz, which I would not recommend in any fashion. And Vince Dunn has played some phenomenal hockey in St. Louis. He's a big physical dude, and he likes to hit people, and he's got serious puck skills too, which is the scary part. So I don't think you can go anywhere but Vince Dunn here.
I agree. There's no way you can. I mean, he played huge minutes for the Blues when they won their Stanley Cup back in 2018, 2019. There is no doubt in my mind that they take Vince Dunn here. Again, another one of those no-brainer picks. It's gonna happen. Kid's 24, and he can play both the left and the right defenseman position.
Yeah,
so you're getting a versatile player. He's only 24. The potential is explosive. I mean, you go for him. End of story. All right, we're getting down. We got our last 5 picks here. We're gonna start it off. Tampa Bay Lightning, again, another one of those teams. If you mess up this pick, you are a terrible GM, Ron. That being said, there are multiple players here that you can go with, and you're going to get a really good deal. I have them picking Yanni Gourde. I think that he has shown time and time again in the playoffs, in the Stanley Cup Finals, that he is an impact player. He might not be that top center. However, again, it's going to be another reset for him. He's had that championship caliber. He's had a championship caliber team around him. So to be put in that situation, let's see what he's made of. I really hope that they do pick Yanni Gourde. I think that is their smartest pick that they can go with. But again, Yanni Gourde to Seattle.
Yes, I completely agree. I love the grit. I love the intensity. Dude plays hard every single second he's on the ice, and he makes things happen. He's a phenomenal player. He's so much fun to watch, and I think it'd be really interesting to see how he gels with a brand new group of guys.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, well, let's go. Down to 4, Toronto.
Oh, boy.
Oh. I've been waiting to get to this pick because I don't think you can be any more disappointed as a Toronto fan to go from up to 3-1 to losing a series than to not protecting a guy like Jared McCann and losing him in the draft.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. A lot of people think Alexander Kerfoot's going to go. If you were a Maple Leafs fan, you would rather see him go than Jared McCann because they know what Jared McCann was able to do for them in the season, this season and the playoffs. I mean, you don't protect a guy like that, he's going to go. I think that's a no-brainer pick for me. Other people feel differently, but I think no-brainer. You ditch Kerfoot, you go McCann here.
I think you have to. I think that's the way to go. What McCann brings to the table is phenomenal. The season he was able to put together, albeit around some very good talent, some serious players on only Maple Leafs, but he's going to bring some absolutely stunning potential to this team. And you'd probably get a lot of that out of Kerfoot, but McCann is a little cheaper, and I wouldn't pass him up. You're not.
Yeah.
You're going to get the best value out of McCann.
Yeah, I mean, when you're arguing between two guys, you have to look at age, salary, and he checks off all three of those boxes. I think he's a better player than Kerfoot. I think he has a better contract, and he's younger. All three of the boxes, why wouldn't you draft him? You know what I mean? Like, that's just a no-brainer. That's how you get to a no-brainer, people. Vancouver, Drew, your pick.
This is where the Kraken get, I believe, the man that will be their starting goaltender, or at least the number one in a tandem, in Braden Holtby, if he can return to any semblance of the form that he had with the Capitals.
I mean, I think he got put in a bad situation with Vancouver, but that's a different conversation.
I agree. But there's no doubt that he was definitely not the same goalie that he was in Washington. So I think that he's going to be kind of the number one guy. I think that's going to lead into a lot of Chris Dredger action as well. But yeah, you got to kind of take a flyer out on Holtby. I don't see anyone else on the Canucks that's super worth it. Nobody that's, I can't pass that guy up to take Holtby. Because if you can get Braden Holtby from 2 or 3, 4 years ago, that's a stunning. Well, it would be Marc-Andre Fleury-esque going to the Golden Knights, I think.
Yeah, so I have Travis Hamonic going, left shot defenseman, I believe, if I looked at that correctly. Let me just take a look. Ha! JK, right shot. Right shot defenseman. And it's, he has backstopped some good teams. I think that he would be a very good pairing. In the back end, sorry, I have to pee so bad.
Almost there.
I know. And I guess for me, it's, if I look at it, if I don't have Price going, then I agree with you. I would have Holtby going. I think you can get Price, Holtby. You can get a good goaltender in this expansion draft and be able to compete. I think if you get either Holtby or Price, you're going to be in a good position. I think Price, obviously, for me, is the better pick. But, again, this is why we digress. But let's move on to Braden Holtby's former team, the Washington Capitals. And I have a guy that has been around, has been on Stanley Cup winning teams, he is only 29, and he has been on, I think, 3 Stanley Cup winning teams. I think maybe 2. Connor Sheary. He was a Pittsburgh Penguin. I believe he won the Stanley Cup with the Capitals in 2017-2018. But yeah, he has been good for each team that he's gone to. I think picking a guy like that, having that experience in the playoffs where it matters, is going to count for them. And again, it's just another one of those things. He's, $1.5 million hit Talk about your pick, Drew. I gotta pee. I will be right back.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, guys.
For me, I'm going to take the third goaltender for the Seattle Kraken here. I'm going to go with the youngest goaltender that I'm choosing here. It's going to be Vitek Vanacek from the Capitals, of course. Guy's got a lot of potential. Again, someone that they can groom, especially behind guys that have some experience. Braden Holtby, who even played for the Capitals, like Vitek did and has. And Chris Dredger, I think, is going to be really that second guy to step up. But Vanacek will have all the time in the world to sit there and, again, marinate and refine his game a little bit. I think he's going to be a phenomenal young goalie for them to work into the system eventually. And it's going to be a great pick.
Sorry.
Oh, that was loud. That was
Sorry.
loud.
I just tried picking up my headset very quietly, but all right. For me, who did you pick?
Vitek Vanacek.
Right, Vitek. All right. Yeah, I mean, him and what was his name? The other goaltender for the Capitals. I mean, I think they both played very well this year. I like Vitek. I think he would be a good pick for them if I didn't want to go forward defensive heavy instead of going 4 goaltenders, but I did not, so we'll move on. We're going to go to our last pick.
This is it.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Just because he plays for the alphabetically last team in the league.
Exactly. I have Dylan DeMello, defenseman from the Jets. I guess, he's 28. He would be signed all the way through until 2024, so you get a guy like that. He's 28, plays right D. Winnipeg had pretty good defense this season. Mm-hmm. He was a reason why.
Thanks a lot.
I think, I think that would be a good pick for them. Getting someone that has, the play. Take Ovi. No, Royce. They're not taking Ovi. There's no way that they'd be able to take Alexander Ovechkin's contract.
He wants nothing to do with going to Seattle. At this point in his career, he just wants to stay in Washington and ride it out.
Yeah. I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense for him to say, yeah, I'm going to Seattle, and then play one season, and then come back and retire. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. So.
But, I have Dylan DeMello going to Seattle as my final pick. Drew, what'd you pick?
We consensus.
There we go. Last pick, consensus. So, we're just going to do a final. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, just show you the whole team, show you the cap hit, all that kind of stuff. So let me go first. I'm going to add this to my stream here. As you can see, I showed the defense first. Hold on. As you can see here are my forward group. I have James Van Riemsdyk, Jordan Eberle, Max Domi, Yanni Gourde, Jonas Donskoy, Chris Tierney, Jared McCann, Cal Yarncroc. I mean, I can keep going on. I'm not gonna bore you to death. There are some good names in there. You go down, you have Blake Como, Zach Aston Reese. Those are two, good players that can provide that third, fourth line scoring. It's going to be huge for them. Defensively, that first pairing, PK Subban, Mark Giordano, then you have Dylan DeMello, Hayden Fleury. I think you're going to get, a little interesting where, Vince Dunn's going to be in that pairing. You have Jeremy Lauzon. You have a guy like Travis Hamonic, who is a little bit on the older side. He brings a little bit of that veteran presence into that lineup. So it'll be interesting. And then obviously my goaltenders, Price, Kaikkonen, and Dreiger. So this is a really good team. I mean, I think that this is a playoff, a good playoff team, and obviously this is just the draft. This is just the expansion draft. This has nothing to do with any of the players they could pick up potentially after, in trades or anything like that. But, as an initial team, this is a team that's going to win a good amount of games, especially in a division that is so weak. So, Drew, let me add your screen here. Are you all set?
Yep.
All right. Go for it.
All right. Well, here is my rundown here. Headed up by Max Domi, Jonathan Drouin. Again, Dadonov, Josh Bailey, going to be a huge piece there. And Andres Athanasiou, I think, is my sneaky pick of the draft. I think they can lock him down to a decent contract. He's going to be an absolute value add, probably a third string center, third line, I would say, maybe even four. But he brings a serious skill set to a brand new team. My defense, again, headed up by guys like Kevin Shattenkirk, Calvin DeHaan, to really bring in that experience and just general ability to lead the team. Then you have the other guys that are going to be under them. Jeremy Lauzon is a huge pick, in my opinion. Dylan DeMello is going to be a huge piece. And then I'm praying and hoping that Braden Holtby can get back to form and lock down net for them, with Chris Dredger ready to take over and Vanacek marinating in the background. But no, I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great team. Welcome to Screenception. I think this is going to be a great team one way or another. A lot of great pieces that they can add out there. It's just gonna come down to see if they can gel.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And, with Vegas, you can have, you had a team that came together, good team on paper, but it's all about, whether or not they can find that chemistry, like you said, they can gel together. And, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to watch them. That's why I think that they're must-watch TV this coming season. Let me just look up the time for the draft tomorrow. Expansion draft. I'm just looking up the time for you guys. Alright, cool. It's not telling me what time it is. Tell me the time. What time is it going on? Ah, there it is. I was right. Okay. So, the expansion draft is at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Don't miss it. Please don't miss it. I'm going to try to go live for you guys while I'm watching it to kind of discuss the picks, maybe. If we get any surprise picks, maybe any trades. I mean, this was a true expansion draft with no trades. I did mention earlier that I thought that they could go with a guy like Phil Kessel via trade to kind of offset some of that, offset some of the money there, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Ron Francis and his team have a lot of decisions to make within the next 24 hours. I'm sure not all the picks are locked. So it's a very exciting 24 hours in the hockey world. And then you don't have to wait long for the next biggest thing because the NHL draft is Friday. So it's going to be a very interesting couple of days. We're going to see a brand new hockey team get put together in less than 24 hours here. So stay tuned for that, guys. Like I said, I'm going to try to go live tomorrow night with you during the draft so we can discuss picks. But anything else, Drew?
I think you hit all the points.
Yeah, well, guys, I know this went a little long, but thank you so much for tuning into the Boda Expansion Draft Mock Draft Special. I'm Zach, and for Drew, we are Boda. Find us on Boda Sports on Twitter, Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. We have our own jerseys. They're fun. And check us out on TikTok. James does a lot of TikToks on there. Very funny. Check our podcasts out on Spotify, The Boda Show, Garbage Time, all reruns, all that kind of stuff. Got some funny stuff going on in there. But yeah, I mean, you can check out our teams. I'll post the teams on Instagram for you guys to take a look at, and Twitter, so you can take a look at our picks. Toss some comments in there. Tell us who you'd pick instead. All that good stuff. But like I said, for Drew, I'm Zach. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you later. Stay soggy.
Peace.